A challenge for some. So how do you do it effectively? Joining us now is dating coach Joanne Cohen. Now, you told us earlier you became single and you just started doing your research.
Yes, I started reading some different books. I also have read some internet articles and then went out and practiced in the field to see what would work.
Now, when you went practicing in the field, was that like using those lines like your dad must be like a star maker because I see stars in your eyes, that kind of stuff?
No, actually flirting is very little what you say. A good first impression is only 6% of actually the words that are spoken. Everything else is physical appearance, body language, the tone that you speak in.
And the one thing, I've been sitting next to you and you've been just exuding that confidence that men always say they want a woman who's confident. Is that one of the 5 tips that you have, is like exuding that confidence?
One of the top tips is to be confident, to stand tall, shoulders back, chest up, chin up. If you look confident, people believe that you are.
And what are some other tips that you have besides the confidence thing? Because I think that's what everybody says. You just got to sell it. You got to sell it. And they say, I'm selling it, but nobody's buying.
Well, the other thing as a woman we want to do is to roll our hips. We're made differently than men, so we have a natural roll. Sometimes women don't let that roll happen. So just let it roll, let your hip go, and that is a magnet for many men. The third thing to do is to smile. Something I think you said you did earlier a lot is when we do smile, we show that we're open, receptive to meeting people, and that will draw people in.
What are the things that women do that make them seem closed off? Because I think a lot of women don't know that they're not being approachable. What are some of the things they can do to not, stand there all night at the club like I did last time?
Exactly. One of the things is when we close our body in, we look smaller, we don't look as approachable. If we don't smile, if we're scowling, we're serious, we're thinking about something else, or even if we're shy. When we're shy, the studies have shown us we're looked as snobby.
Well, I had a discussion with a male friend last night. We went out to dinner and he said the one thing he knows when a woman goes like this or touches a guy and they're on the date, that's a flirt. Is that a flirt?
Yes, touching somebody else, touching a man, especially on the arm, is showing that you're interested in him. Even if you're a touchy person, it does show that you're flirting.
Well, what about for women? Because a lot of times they meet guys and they'll say, he was flirting with you. And she says, was he? I didn't see that. I just thought he was being nice. How does a woman know? What are the tells that a man gives?
When a man's flirting, he usually makes eye contact with a woman, so he pretty much holds eye contact. He also smiles, stands up taller. Sometimes they get into preening behaviors, which is preening behaviors for...
Like a bird? Like a peacock?
Just think of it like a bird.
So when he starts strutting like...
Exactly. If they strut or they stroke their tie, they're doing preening behaviors.
Really? So if a guy strokes his tie, you got to find a guy with a tie, though. Because everybody's so casual nowadays. Any other tips that you have?
When they're strutting, when they make eye contact, when a lot of times they'll expand and actually try to make themselves look bigger, they'll put their hands into their pockets.
Oh, hands in the pockets. Okay.
Yes.
Now, one thing I read on your website is like looking for, when you're flirting with somebody, how to know the difference between a flirt and a stalker. What are the differences there?
One of the worst mistakes that people will make when they're flirting with someone is that instead of doing a quick glance, they'll stare at the person. And when you stare, it makes the other person feel as if they are getting to be threatened and will actually turn somebody off completely.
What's the one thing that you found usually works most of the time that most people think, I never even thought about trying that, and it usually works?
Usually working is actually making eye contact with people. It's funny living in Phoenix and how many people we come across. We don't actually look people in the eye. I found that if I go into any situation and just look at everybody in the eye quickly and then look back, that I usually have somebody talk to me.
It's like a don't stare. If you constantly stare, that'll scare the girl off. Well, you know what? Girls always are afraid to flirt because I think, I don't know if it's social or they're shy or whatever. Is there something they can do to practice on their friends or just business associates that's not overtly romantic flirting that could get them more comfortable?
One of the things I suggest is to flirt with everybody, men, women, and children, because flirting is really not necessarily romantic or sexual in nature. It's just fun. It's just having fun. So go to the grocery store, make eye contact, and smile at everybody you see. You'll make everybody else's day a lot better than your own.
You know what, I always tell people it's easier just to smile instead of a scowl, which I'm known to do. It's easier to smile at people. Do you think that's the hardest thing for people to remember, is just to smile?
The hardest thing for people to remember is to look and to smile. Also both, because we start thinking of the task that we're trying to accomplish. I need the soda, I need the eggs, I'm not having a good day. But if they would just remember those few things, smile and make eye contact.
Okay, now you said that some of the stuff that you've used as work, what doesn't work? Because you said she did the foot dangle, and you said the foot dangle with the shoe. I have the wrong shoes for the foot dangle, but you said the foot dangle works.
The shoe dangle works.
The shoe dangle.
Yeah. You dangle your shoes. One of the things that I find that does not work is a lot of times wearing very, very provocative clothing that's cut way too close. You might get approach, but not the kind of approach necessarily that you're looking for.
Well, you told me about a study about how the women that are not as provocative get more attention. What was that? Tell us about that.
Okay, what the studies have shown is that women who are not as attractive but highly signal, in other words, flirt, will get approached more often than a very attractive woman who doesn't flirt. So looks doesn't have anything to do really with how successful someone is in flirting. It's actually how much you signal.
And I think that's where girls start scowling at the other girls, because they're like, look at her, she's just falling out of that blouse, and everybody's paying her attention, where they're not paying you attention because you've got your arms crossed. Any other things I could do to stop scowling? Because the producer said that's my problem with, I go someplace and I'm a little tense.
Well, it's a conscious effort to make yourself and remember to smile, and also to try to think of the other person and to say, I want to be charming and make other people's days better. And you just naturally smile then.
Okay, I'm sitting on a bar stool. Do I lean up against do I do like this and just kind of keep glancing back? Or do I just sit like this and just, I mean, do you have to do do you got to do the pose, you got to, the whole thing?
You don't have to do the pose, but you do need to sit up straight, take up space, and to make eye contact and to look around. And if you see somebody interesting, look back.
At my size, I do take so I don't have to you don't have to, put the arm up, because to me, that's what, I go like this. And I think I'm like Joan Collins or something, and you're saying that's not necessary?
That is not necessary at all. You do want to have your body language open and not closed, however.
All right, thank you, Joanne. You gave me some good examples. I am going to try the foot dangle thing. What kind of shoes do you recommend for that? Slides or just sandals, flip-flops?
Not flip-flops.
She says no flip-flops. All right, if you would like more info from Joanne, just go to our website or dial our hotline for everyone. Of course, we have some flirting tips right here. Be confident. Walking, rolling your hips. You got to swish. Men always pay attention in books. They always say she rolled her, swished her hips. Smile and make eye contact and flirt with everyone.
Yes.
And it doesn't always have to be romantic. It's just flirting.
That's
being
flirt.
open.
Yes. Doing
the little hand thing. I enjoy having you here.
Yes.
That's nice. See, that's all it took. Just a little thing like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.